What's up, guys? Welcome to Touchdown Talk, where everything and anything football goes. I'm your host, Jason, and today we have episode 3 of NFL Weekend Recap. Now, the last post that I had, the last video that came out, was NFL News in 10 Minutes, episode 8. So I would link that down below, along with my last 2 episodes of offensive and defensive weapons, both NFC and AFC East divisions. So that is still going on, series. Every episode will be out Tuesdays and Thursdays. So episode 3 and 4 will be out this week on Tuesday and Thursday. But let's get back into our video for today, and let's recap all the news from Friday night all the way to Monday afternoon. Now, the first bit of news we had was late Friday, kind of early Saturday, and that was reported by Mike Garoppolo that Mike Gesicki is expected to play on the franchise tag for the Dolphins this year with no imminent deal in place. So what this means is that Mike Gesicki is not going to have a deal done right now, not going to have a new contract yet, but he's going to play 1 year on the franchise tag, and then it seems like the team is going to go from there. So I'm hoping that they can get a deal done with him. I think he's a huge, crucial part to that Miami Dolphins team. I really enjoy watching him play in that offense. Now we'll see what he can do this season. Now with the new offense with Tyreek Hill there, see what Tua can do in this upcoming season. But I do like Mike Gesicki in Miami, so I'm hoping they can get a deal done and figure out a way for him to stay. Now moving on to Sunday, where we had 2 news bits, and that is first that Dwayne Brown was a free agent and he was arrested at Los Angeles International Airport on Saturday. Now, Brown was arrested on a charge of possession of a concealed firearm for allegedly trying to go through TSA with an unloaded gun in his luggage. Now, this per TMZ Sports. So, Dwayne Brown arrested allegedly in Los Angeles per TMZ Sports, not with a team, free agent. So if this is true, it's gonna hurt his potential if a team is gonna want him to pick him up or not. And then late Sunday, kind of really early Monday morning, was huge news coming out of Pittsburgh, and that is that their name is gone. Heinz Field is no longer. Now, this is huge news for the Pittsburgh Steelers, for the city of Pittsburgh, because Heinz Field has been the name for the past 21 years. The past 21 seasons, Heinz Field has been the home of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they are now losing that name. They are taking down the ketchup bottles. They are replacing the name with Acrisure Stadium. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, but it is based off of a Michigan insurance brokerage firm. Now, this is reported by Andrew Filippani on Twitter, so I will put his tweet up here for you guys so you can see his along with my post from Instagram, which all of these are from my Instagram. I create them, I design them all, and then I put them on the Instagram, which will also be linked down below if you guys do want to go check that out. That is where all of my news gets posted right away as soon as it breaks, and then I do talk about everything I post. That is what these videos are, because all of the news I do break down in each of these episodes is what comes from the Instagram. Even my offensive and defensive weapons, all of them are up on the Instagram already, so if you guys want to go check that out, you can, and I will be going into deep depth in each episode, talking about why I picked the players for those teams on their offense and defense. But back to this with Heinz Field getting renamed, just huge news because of just, when you talk about the Steelers, you're talking about Heinz Field. When someone mentions Heinz Field, automatically think of Pittsburgh, automatically think of the Steelers. And there were a couple names that were getting thrown out there, but I don't know how Steeler fans are about this. I don't think they are happy. I think they didn't like the name change. I think they could have used a bunch of different names, but it does look like they found their new sponsor, new name, and it's going to take some getting used to for Steeler fans, obviously, who are not in the best of moods after seeing this news come out. And then on Monday, we got news that earlier in the week, Tyreek Hill spoke over the weekend on his podcast. It needed to be said, and he spoke on Tua Tagovailoa going into his 3rd year and what he expects from him, all the expectations surrounding him, what everyone's been saying about him. And Tyreek Hill said, and I quote, You know, in the NFL, they only give you 2 to 3 years to be a successful quarterback, especially if you're a first-round draft pick. If you don't succeed after those years, it's kick rocks, man. It's basically his last year to show people what he's got. Now, I saw a couple outlets take this out of context, showing that the last really bit of that saying it's basically his last year to show people what he's got. And that's kind of what happens with social media, and that people always misconstrue stuff. That's why when I do this, I always put the entire quote, because if you put something small and just the tail bit of it, you don't get all of the context. You really just get what's given to you, and it's not fair for people because you then judge the player, whether you judge Tyreek Hill, you judge Tua, and all of this sort of stuff surrounds social media. It's what the media is when it comes to sports, not only in football, but in baseball, basketball, hockey, tennis, golf, soccer, whatever sport you want to talk about. All of this news gets misconstrued. So it's kind of a huge deal, and with social media and how everything gets taken out of context, this is one of those things that happens. But I'm looking at this season and I'm looking at Tua, and I think it's going to be a breakout year for him. I really like what he did last year with Waddle and Gesicki. I think now that he has Tyreek Hill, he has 2 speedster running backs. He got Teron Armstead to block him with the offensive line. I think Tua is poised for a breakout year, and just like Jalen Hurts with the Eagles, these are the 2 quarterbacks who are really judged the most this offseason. Given the team that they have around them now, it's basically their chance to prove it or get out of where they are. And not only Tua, but Jalen Hurts. These 2 guys are going to be misconstrued and disrespected throughout the season unless they come out of the gate shining like a star, which I believe both of them are. I believe Tua is the guy for the Dolphins, and I do believe Hurts is the guy for the Eagles. So I'm looking forward to watching both of these players play in this upcoming season. Now, after that, the last bit of news we had came on Monday, and that is not only news about Jimmy Garoppolo, but news about the Denver Broncos and Rob Walton, their new owner, announcing that Condoleezza Rice has been added to their ownership. Now, he said this in a statement issued on Monday. So, new owner, woman owner for the Denver Broncos. Big news for them, especially in the day that we are now, where we're trying to get more women involved in the NFL. You see it all over the NFL, a couple of teams here and there promoting women, and the Broncos are the next team in line to do that. And lastly, what we have is an update on Jimmy Garoppolo. Not only about his shoulder, but where we could see him going. Now, Jimmy Garoppolo's agent, Don Yee, provided a positive update on Jimmy Garoppolo and commented on the news that we got last week that Jimmy Garoppolo is going to go to Tampa and be the heir to Tom Brady. Now, in a statement where Yee told NFL Network's Tom Pelissero, he said, and I quote, "He's progressing well and on schedule. We're optimistic about the upcoming season. Over the weekend, a report came out that asserted that I had spoken to a media member about his future, but the report was false." So this is basically saying that he's doing well with where he is in his throwing motion. He's doing well with his health-wise. And on top of that, denying the fact that that his agent spoke about him going to Tampa Bay. So it does seem like Garoppolo's doing well. He's progressing, as his agent said. He said he's on schedule. And then he denied the fact that he spoke to somebody in the media about Garoppolo going to Tampa. So on top of that, and on top of him talking to Tom Pelissero and denying the Tampa Bay rumors, and then giving an update on his career and on his health-wise, not only did he give that update and deny the Tampa rumors, but he also... Now, this was a report by Tom Pelissero, but then following that was a report by Jeremy Fowler, where he reported that the Seattle Seahawks have had internal discussions about acquiring Jimmy Garoppolo. Now, Fowler reported that Seattle has done its film work to see how Garoppolo would fit in their offense. So we started off with Pelissero sending out a quote that when he spoke with Don Yee, Jimmy Garoppolo's agent, he did confirm that Garoppolo's on track. He's progressing with his health. He then denied the Tampa Bay rumors that he's going to go to Tampa Bay and be Tom Brady's here. And then after that, we ended with Jeremy Fowler reporting that Seattle is trying to figure out if they can get Jimmy Garoppolo, how he would fit in their offense. And the interesting thing that intrigues me here is they're division rivals. And these are two teams that have hated each other. The 49ers and Seahawks have had a dominating rivalry, going back in the day, then recently with Richard Sherman and Michael Crabtree in the NFC Championship playoff game. Then lately it was just back and forth with these two teams. And over the past couple of years, it's been the Niners that have gotten the upper hand because they've just been the better team, and Seattle has been on the downslope. But now with Seattle, new quarterback in Drew Lock, trying to get Jimmy Garoppolo from the Niners, which it looks that Trey Lance is going to start taking over, especially since Jerry Rice continues to speak about Trey Lance and continues to speak about that quarterback competition that we could see in San Francisco. And with that being said, that is going to be it for this episode 3 of NFL Weekend Recap. Now, as I mentioned earlier in this episode, I will be doing episode 3 and 4 of Offensive and Defensive Weapons this week. Episode 3 on Monday and 4 on Thursday. NFC West Tuesday and AFC West on Thursday. So Tuesday and Thursday, we have episode 3 and 4, the NFC and AFC West divisions for my offensive and defensive weapons. As you could tell by this video, it is a bit of a short one with the recap. There wasn't a lot to dive into, but with tomorrow's episode, Tuesday, being the offensive and defensive weapon, it's going to be a bit of a longer one, as well as Thursday. And episode 9 of NFL News in 10 Minutes will be out on Wednesday. As always, if you did enjoy this video, if you do enjoy my content, I will see you guys next time.